bending today, a little golfing experience yesterday, so apparently you have to warm up a little bit before you take the big swing. So anyway, I'm here. So if you see me drop things, which you have, Kayla will help me pick them up, so I love you. Anybody nearby. But it'll be okay, it's just a mild. So we're the Wheelers, and lovely to see you all again. If you recall, when we were here, I think it was about 6 months ago. And it's lovely to be back. It's the heat of summer now. And so we're a country and western family fiddle band. And so we'll introduce everybody as we go along here today. But I think first we'll start with a little song, and feel free to sing along or feel free to get up and dance. Anybody that's adventuresome, I might have to dance with you as well. Just wait, I can dance, it's okay, I just can't bend. It'll be all right. So my dad was a fiddler, so we're going to play a few fiddle tunes. If you know any Don Messer, raise your hand. Anybody know Don Messer? We're going to play a few of his songs. Yeah? Oh yeah, that's good. So my dad passed about 7 years ago. He knew a lot of fiddle songs. He was like 170, I think we counted in the end. And before he passed, he was over at the White Hills home, which is where we started the band, actually, the Wheelers. So while he was out there, my mom was telling me, Lisa, no, you've got to learn those fiddle tunes. She said, yeah, Father has. We got to keep this in the family, we've got to keep this going. So I said, okay, well, we'll start. So this is what we became, was the Wheeler Band, and I learned not 170, probably 20 fiddle tunes, but just enough to kind of keep us going here. So this is my mom, Augusta, and she plays the piano. She played classical a little bit as a kid, but we untrained her about 15 years ago from classical and showed her how to do some honky-tonk chording. So she's been taking off ever since and turned out to be a passion. So from a fiddler's perspective, having a piano player in your house is like the dream, right? Your piano player, your fiddle player, you want to be a piano player. So, okay, so the next one we're going to do, feel free to sing along with this one as well. That one's a famous song. Let's Is that good? Can you hear us back there better? Okay, very good. Okay, Gail's going to take this next one for us. It's dark weather, kind of funny and lonely, green and green and honey and a honey and roll. And they call me the honeycomb, and they call the world and the gathered all and the honeycomb, and the one thing ball and the honeycomb, and the tree. Be my baby, it's a honeycomb. Won't you be my baby now, honeycomb, be my own. Gonna hang it there and be somebody else. If you drop it, honeycomb, well, honeycomb, won't you be my baby now, honeycomb, be my own. Gonna go, so Kim and I actually worked together. Kim hired me. I'm a lawyer now. But it was so long ago. I was a junior lawyer, so he hired me at his place. And so we discovered a passion and interest for music. So then we had this common joke amongst us that now when we hire people, we ask if you play a musical instrument because you might be able to join the Wheelers. So last year we hired our intake worker, and Kayla was the hire. And so she confided to me about 4 months in that Lisa, now I have a background and vocals. I said, now you are hired. So, because the background there is, it took me 5 years of singing lessons to get what you're hearing today. So it was well, thanks, she's very complimentary. She's complimentary. That took a while. And even then, it's still right in his voice, so that's all good. Okay, so our next song here, and feel free to get up and dance to this one. taught me basic chording, and then I started her out on that basic chording. But she did when I was a kid. We always had a piano. This is my brother Sean, so he can verify. We always had a piano in the living room. It never got played. It was one of those big, tall, brown, stand-up ones. But the only time it got played was when Mom would rip into a version of "Oh When the Saints." You want to try that one right now? It was a little well done, audience. All right, the next one we're going to do here. This is one that I think most of you will know. It's one that Patty Page did, and it's called Mockingbird Hill. And when I first learned this song, I had never listened to the version of it, so I learned it my own way. I'd heard it kind of played in the background by my dad, I think. And so I took it quite a bit slower. She's almost got a bebop version of this song. I'm just going to take a sip of water here. When the sun in the morning creeps over the hill and kisses the roses on my windowsill, and my heart fills with gladness as I hear the trill of the birds in the treetop on the hill. Again now. Tra-la-la, tra-la-dee, and it gives me a tunes now for you. Before we do that, this is my fancy dress. So my friend Sung, she was actually born in China. She was our neighbor, and then she became my good friend. So in China, they teach you how to actually just measure and sew, no patterns, just measures up. So this is my wheelie dress that she made for me, the little 1950s number. So, good thing.